Are you going on a cruise and you want to save money, and you don't want to fall into expensive marketing traps? Then this clip is for you. In this episode, we will show you the 11 biggest ripoffs on a cruise, show you where you need to watch out and how you can avoid them, or even get around them. So if you want to reduce the costs of your next cruise, then stay with us and watch the full clip. We will share with you some valuable tips, how you can save money on your cruise.
Welcome back to our Explore with Us family travel channel. Come and join us. Hello cruise mates. In today's episode we will show you some great tips, how to save money on your next cruise and where to watch out for the biggest ripoffs on a cruise. And if you don't want to miss out on our new uploads with valuable cruise and travel tips, then hit the red subscribe button and join our channel. We were wondering how we could financially optimize our next cruise trip. So we started to research, analyze, and read about other guest ripoff experiences. The results are consolidated in this clip here. This clip will open your eyes and sensitize you for the marketing traps and what the potential items of overspendings actually are.
So let's start with our top number 1, the biggest potential for ripoff on a cruise, the Wi-Fi. The internet or Wi-Fi is where you really need to be very careful about. There is a lot of potential for unnecessary and surprising overspending on this item. Wi-Fi is generally not free on a cruise unless you are traveling in any of the MSC Yacht Club cabins. Only guests traveling in any of the MSC Yacht Club cabins will get free Wi-Fi. For the rest of passengers, Wi-Fi is at an additional cost, the same as on most of the other cruise lines. What we don't like is that you can't find any information regarding the internet costs on the MSC website. We tried to get the latest cost from the MSC agent so that we can present it to you here, but without a booking number, the agents are not willing to present these costs. We find this bit strange and somehow not transparent as well. Now, you can buy various packages to help reduce the cost, but you can easily be spending per person for one device €200 or €300 on a 7-night cruise. The MSC website advertises a 20% discount on the internet package, but you still do not know what are the package costs. On the MSC, there are 2 different package options: the Browse Internet package and the Browse and Stream package, and you can get 20% discount when you book it prior to your trip. These are unfortunately the only infos you will find on the website if you don't have a booking number. So, how do you get around this internet trap? Well, first of all, really think about whether you need to be connected. If you are on a very port-intensive cruise, you can use Wi-Fi when you're on land, and just switch off when you're actually on the ship overnight. Our top Explore with Us tip for you: most of the ports around the world will have free Wi-Fi. At least every port that we have cruised to had free Wi-Fi access. So you can just use the port's free Wi-Fi whilst the ship is in the port. Just go on deck and enjoy the free internet. Before you step ashore, ask one of the crew members. They often don't get enough Wi-Fi on board for their needs, so will often hit the Wi-Fi when they are ashore. Otherwise, really watch out, since Wi-Fi could add many hundreds of euro onto the cost of your cruise. Also, very importantly, is make sure that when you are on the cruise, that you switch off data roaming, so you don't get any surprise charges from your provider. Wi-Fi can be a massive ripoff. We all expect it on land to be free and available, but it's not on a cruise. So carefully look at the prices and make sure that you are minimizing getting ripped off when it comes to Wi-Fi. On the other hand, just enjoy for change to be as well disconnected and offline.
Second item with potential to overspend money are the excursions. You can easily be spending hundreds of euro per person per excursion. That can mount up to many hundreds of euro across the course of a week-long or longer cruise. There are loads and loads of alternatives to cruise line excursions, which will always tend to have a slight premium in them, partly because they do guarantee that the ship will wait for you if the excursions are running late. We like to look at a couple of things to avoid paying a lot of money on excursions. Our top Explore with Us tip. We are big fans of the hop-on, hop-off buses. We look whether there are hop-on, hop-off buses at the locations where we will be on land. They often come to cruise port. They're relatively inexpensive. You get some good infos told. It's gonna take you to all the key sites. Also, you could look at third-party providers. They'll often provide the same tours as the cruise line, but they'll be normally much cheaper and also have smaller groups. The other great thing is tours by locals. There are many companies set up which will have locals that live, work, grown up in an area, and they will take you around often for free, and you just pay them a gratuity as a thanks for those tours. You can find all of those online, if you just search things like tours by locals and the port that you're going to. The key thing when you are looking at cruise excursions to avoid being ripped off is take a look at just how close places are to the port. You can often find that some of the excursions are very easily walkable from the port, and there's actually a big premium being taken by the cruise line there. If you want things like a day at the beach, take a look at things like resort passes. You can often find them online either directly through the hotel site, or again you can just search for resort passes in the place you're going, and you'll find you can often go to the same resort or similar results for significantly less money than you're gonna be paying for the cruise line. So definitely take a look at different alternatives. You may end up that you decide you want to stick with the cruise line because you like the security of knowing that the cruise ship will wait for you if the excursion runs late, which all the other alternative options do not have, and the cruise line does not guarantee that they will wait for you.
The third area which we believe is generally overpriced are the spa treatments. Spa treatments on cruise ships seem to us to be incredibly expensive for what they are, when you compare it with prices on land. If you really feel like a spa treatment and you can't wait to get back on land, then here are top Explore with Us tip. Wait at best until you have a port day. You'll find huge reductions on spa treatments on port days because less people go. You can often get 50% or more of a spa treatment. So if you do really want to go to the spa and you find the costs too high, then make sure you go on a port day. Also be careful, check that you're not going to get on top of the spa costs a gratuity charge. You'll find many cruise lines will charge you for the spa treatment, but they will then add on gratuity charges on top, and also the people doing the treatments are often incentivized to sell you products. So they do quite a hard sell at the end. So one of the things we find with spa treatments is almost stressful in themselves, because they are pretty expensive, and you have that upsell. So make sure if you don't want to be ripped off, you're really clear that you don't want to buy any products and that you go for a treatment on port days.
Number 4 item of potential overspendings are the on-deck photograph. Photographs taken by the ship photographers are pretty expensive to buy, and you can get around that by taking your own photographs, particularly if you wait until a port day. Perhaps stay on the ship when the ship's less busy, and you basically go around and take your own photographs. Even if you don't have a professional camera, nowadays the mobile phones have incredibly good cameras. So actually take your own photographs, spend some time going around, particularly As we said, on a port day when it's less busy, and do your own photographs, because buying the photographs from the ship can be incredibly expensive. Our special Explore with Us tip is to have a mini tripod with you. Honestly, we rather take our own shots with such a timer setting up than asking other people. You can set up everything exactly the way how you want it and place the things where you want it. You might have seen on some of our video clips such an adjustable arm fixed to the stroller. It has a clip on top where you can fix your mobile phone, set up a 10-second timer and go and pose for your free of charge shot. You will find a link in the description below of these gadgets which we take on our trips with. Now you might want to still buy one photo from the ship photographer, because you want a picture with the captain, or one from the formal night. But it is really, really expensive. Rather take your own photographs. Look at the locations that the profession photographers are using around the ship, and go there when the ship is quiet, and take the same photographs as the profession photographers do, just for free.
Our fifth potential overspending item are the single supplements. Not really applicable by us as family but still significant for all our single travelers. If you travel quite a lot by yourself, make sure that you don't get ripped off by the single supplements. If you go on many cruise lines, they will charge you 50% to 100% surcharge for single occupancy of a double cabin. There's no need to do that because increasingly cruise lines are launching ships with solo cabins. Best example are Saga Cruises. 20% of their cabins, which are over 100 cabins, are just solo cabins. As of the MSC fleet, currently, MSC Meraviglia, MSC Virtuosa, MSC Grandiosa and MSC Bellissima are also outfitted with rooms for one person only. All the big new ships coming are increasingly having solo cabins. However, if the cruise line that you're a big fan of doesn't have solo cabins, sign up for one in time, or ask your travel agent to watch out for single supplement deals. So you'll find a lot of the cruise lines on specific sailings might slash right down to 20%, 10%, or sometimes even no supplements for solo travelers. There's no need to pay more. Of course, if you're very clear that you want to go on a very specific sailing, on a very specific ship at a specific time, you are going to be charged for it accordingly. Our special Explore with Us tip: if you don't mind to share your cabin with a stranger, then go on Facebook and look for cabin sharing groups. You will find a lot of people looking for cabin partners to share a double cabin, and you have the chance to chat and video call each other, still prior to the booking, to find out if it matches or not. This could be a good budget-saving option as well.
Our sixth potential big rip-off, we believe, is bottled water. Bottled water is really expensive. The water itself on a cruise ship is perfectly drinkable. A lot of people worry about whether they can drink the water on a cruise ship. It's perfectly, 100%, high-grade water that you can drink. If you're worried because you think you might not like the taste, why don't you take little sachets of flavoring and have flavored water? That way you could probably even save on sodas. On the positive side, as cruise lines look more and more at how they can reduce these plastics, they're increasingly giving you refillable water, which is the water that you can be drinking anyway out of your tap or some of the water stations around a ship. Bottled water might be a overspending, in our view, when you can actually drink the tap water or the water from the refill station on the ship. This is of course only applicable if you don't have any drinking packages. Our special Explore with Us tip is, take a refillable water bottle with you on the cruise, which you can then always refill at the drinking stations, for example at the buffet restaurant.
Our seventh potential ripoff are the onboard shopping miles and boutique shops. If you don't want to be overcharged, avoid the onboard shops. Onboard shops are not going to be the cheapest around. If you are coming on a cruise and you see things perhaps in the shops that you want, do a search and check what it's going to cost you back home. In our experience, these shops are not particularly good value, no matter what you're buying. So actually be really cautious. And if you are looking to buy something, check even in the ports what the price of those things are. Our special Explore with Us tip: if there's something in the shops that you see that you really want, wait for the sales. Pretty much on every single cruise towards the end, there will be sales and special offers, particularly if the shops aren't hitting their targets. So don't buy things at the beginning of the cruise. Wait until the special offer and sales are on. If you like this clip, please give us thumbs up. If you find these tips helpful and informative, then join our channel and hit the red subscribe button and activate the bell. This way you will not miss on our new clip uploads with great value for your next trip. And if you have any other good money saving tips or rip-off warnings, please share them with us in the comments below. We and other cruisers will appreciate any type of good hints and tips.
Our eighth potential overcharge item are medical treatment on board. If you're unfortunately feel ill, and it's not a massive big emergency, try and avoid going to the medical center if you possibly can. Medical center on board ships are pretty expensive, because it's a service that they're providing. And also the drugs that they sell, if you're prescribed anything, are pretty expensive. What we would suggest you do is, try and go to one of the private walk-in centers on land. Most of these ports that you're going to call on are used to having lots and lots of visitors and tourists. And normally within easy accessibility of the port you can probably easily find a walk-in emergency center. That's going to cost you much less money, and the prescription's going to cost you much less as well. Of course this is only applicable if it's not a massive big emergency, but you can spend a lot of money using medical center on board of a cruise ship. Our special Explore with Us tip: make sure that you take a basic set of medication with you. Take also something against the motion sickness. This is medicine for prevention and treatment of nausea, vomiting and dizziness associated with motion sickness. You never know how hectic the scene might get and how your body will react on it.
Our ninth item where you could easily overspend are art auctions on board. You will find it here and there on some cruises. Actually, many cruise lines have art auctions and sell art, and they sell a lot of art. However, it's something to be extremely cautious about and avoid. First of all, because it's an auction process, and it's also very likely that you're going to end up getting caught up in bidding too much. In general, one could say that art sold on board is not great value, and you could easily overspend. And a lot of that is because of that whole auction process and not being strict with your personal budget limits, since you are more relaxed on your holiday. So avoid art auctions, wait until you're home, do your research, and buy art rather at home.
Our 10th item of high risk to overspend your money are the ice creams, coffees, teas etc. which you can get at the specialized bars or along the onboard shopping mile. Especially traveling with kids, who always want ice cream, you must be really careful here, not to get ripped off and end up spending money that you don't need actually to spend. All of those are in most cases available for nothing, if you have the right package at the buffet restaurant, or the other on-deck places but just not at the let's say special boulevard locations. You normally will find that you can get coffee at the drinking stations as well. It's often in machines with ground beans. And you can get special teas to choose from. They'll often have juice machines at the buffet restaurant, but be careful, in most cases you can get the free juices only at breakfast times. They might have even soft ice cream available, and in the dining rooms you can choose it anyway in most cases for your dessert. A lot of ships will have specialty coffee shops, and they'll have gelato shops, and will sell you premium juices from the bars, for which you will need to pay, even if you have a drinking package. There's no need to do that if you just head up to the buffet restaurant. You might get all of those for free. Yes, it is a different type and different quality, but still totally okay. So don't spend money and don't be ripped off by paying for stuff that you've already paid for within your fare.
Our 11th and last overspending warning goes towards all of you who booked a drinking package and might order drinks which are not included in your package. It is so easy to feel comfortable by knowing that you actually have a drinking package and just go ahead with your drink orders, but watch out for drinks which are not part of your package. Our Explore with Us advice: we strongly recommend to rather ask the waiter or bar attendants which drinks are included in the specific package which you booked. Let them show you on the menu which drinks exactly are included in your package. We also went here through a learning curve because we wrongly assumed that certain drinks were included in our booked package, which were not. Now when we order our drinks, we make sure to know exactly what is included in our package and what not. Be also careful with drinks which are just above your package allowance limit. You will not be charged just the difference. This is what a lot of passengers wrongly assume. But no, you will be charged the entire full price of the drink, not just the difference between your package limit and the more expansive drink. In other words, when your package allowance includes drinks up to €9 and you order a drink which is €11, you don't pay just the €2 difference. Unfortunately, you will be charged the €11 as full price. So watch out here and don't overspend for drinks, which are out of your booked package.
So you see, there are a lot of potential fields to get overcharged. To avoid being ripped off on a cruise is to look at every single thing that's not included in your fare as a possible area to be ripped off in. Stuff that's not included in your fare is seen by the cruise line as revenue generation. They're going to try and get as much money as possible from the passengers on board the ship. It is a business, of course. So look every single time that you spend money on something that's not included in your fare, approach with caution, and ask yourself, do I really need it? Can I get it somewhere else for free or cheaper? Can I avoid this? Or can I get around it? And often the answer will be yes.
In case you are looking for some cool fashion designs for your next cruise trip, have a look in our Explore with Us online shop. You will find there hundreds of unique items from shirts, hoodies, caps, bags, cubs, accessories, and much more with or without family logos. No matter if with 3, 2, 1 or no kids at all, even just as a couple. Have a look. If you found all these tips helpful, we would of course appreciate when you subscribe and support our channel. Just press the red subscribe button and activate the bell. This way you will not miss out on our new clip uploads with great value, tips and hints for you next trip. And if you have any other good saving tips or potential rip-off warnings, please share them with us in the comments below. We and other cruisers will appreciate and type of good hints. If you found this clip informative, please check also our other videos on our channel. We have more of such revealing cruising tips and advice videos with valuable hints and tips and really great recommendation for your next cruise trips. We would like to recommend you some other great clips from our channel. You might discover here some other valuable tips and hints. Have a look, they could be also interesting for you. Otherwise, we thank you for watching. Stay safe, be good and keep well.